Welcome to the Hobie Island Trimaran series. These MirageDrive powered sailing boats offer great performance and stability. The Adventure Island is a single-hander with room for a crew, and the Tandem Island is a double-hander with room for up to 2 extra crew.
So we're going to be looking at the Tandem Island today and the benefits behind the Tandem Island. So we're going to start off at the front of the boat, at the bow, and work our way through to the stern. So on the bow we've got the very good ergonomic hand grip at the front. Benefit of this boat being so long, 18'6", it has a huge cargo capacity area within inside here, so you can upload that with all your camping, fishing gear, whatever it may be, you can stow inside the front hatch. The trampolines will also take 90 kilos of non-bouncing weight, so either if you fit within that restriction or you have, again, a dog, extra persons, whatever it is, they can sit on there as well. The kayak itself has got a full carrying capacity of 272 kilos, so that's a lot more than just 2 standard people. So on this boat you have dual controls everywhere, so your steering, rudder up and down, and also your mainsail. So one person on board isn't always based as a crew. One person can do as much or as little as the other person, and you can also switch over a lot easier than you can do if you were sailing a catamaran or a standard dinghy. On the front beam here you have your furling line, which is always orange and grey as standard from the factory. Then your main sheet is then located to the side of that. Just by letting off your furling line and pulling the main sheet then brings the sail fully out. So the sail is 8.5 square metres, which is good enough to give you a good amount of speed. Your average sailing speed in around about 4 to 3 is going to be around about 6 to 8 knots. In stronger winds, hopefully with flatter water, you can push it a little bit quicker.
Now, because it is a roller reefing sail, you can have any division between all the way in and all the way out. So if you've got a really light wind day, you'll have maximum sail out, and then as the weather and the wind starts to increase, you can then start to decrease your sail size until you're sailing in a 4/7 and you've got a smaller handkerchief bit size coming out, and then that way you're going to be up, you're going to be stable, and also it's going to make the boat more manageable.
So the steering being located in the front and the back means either of you can actually steer the boat. It's different to most other monohulls or yachts in the fact that if you turn it left, the boat will turn left. It's great for single-handed use as well, and that way you're not restricted to only sitting in the front seat or only sitting in the back. You can alternate between the two, which will then make it more comfortable for yourself.
On the MirageDrive, so you've got 2 cam cleats either side, which flick back, and then that allows you then to remove the drive. This is one of the more modern MirageDrives which we've got here, which is the MD180 ST Turbo. So this not only allows you to be able to pedal forwards, but also with the levers which are up here, then allows you to pedal in reverse as well. So if you're using this boat off a beach or you've just come onto a pontoon, without using the sail, you can easily reverse yourself back off. So all of the Hobie MirageDrive kayaks, all of the MirageDrives plug in exactly the same way. So all you do is you take the drive over, make sure the leg cranks are together, just hold it straight over. We've got these guide pins either side of the MirageDrive, which are then used to actually take the MirageDrive down, a nice forceful click down, and that's it. They're a self-locking system, so you don't actually need to touch those. You only flick these cams around when you actually want to remove the drive. So the main key features with the CT Vantage seat is, one, it's just far superior to anything else you're going to find on the market. I'd say personally the biggest benefit of this is actually that it's a high supported seat. So one, it will keep you nice and cool during the summer, but if you are out in slightly chillier conditions, because there is a nice big gap underneath the seat here, you're not sat there on hard plastic in a puddle of cold water. For me, that's the biggest point about this, is you just don't get cold. It's great. Also then you've got the versatility in the recline. So you've got a small lever at the back here which you can pull, apply pressure to the rear of the seat. That way you can recline yourself back if you're feeling like you want to have a little snooze. If then you want to sit yourself upright more, pull the cable and sit yourself further up. There is also a lumbar support dial at the back here as well. So that will give you tension right across the back panel here. So to release it, you pull the dial out, apply pressure to the back part of the seat, and then push the dial back in. That's now nice and loose. If I wanted that to be tighter, you'll actually hear the ratchet system on the inside click as that goes round and then starts to tension up this part just here. So you eventually start to find yourself with a really happy seating position that you probably won't change much. The other part that you probably would look at changing is underneath the seat here is another little grey lever, and this then changes the height that your thighs will pretty much rest at. So putting it in this higher position with then the seat on full recline, that is as far back as you're ever going to lean. That is full on snooze position there. If you then want to be slightly lower down, keep your centre of gravity slightly lower, pull the lever, apply the pressure, and that then takes the seat down. There is also a higher position, which is what we call the Vantage position, which is where you raise the legs up as high as you can go here. There's another little handle which is called kickstand, and as we then lift the back of the seat up, we can pull kickstand and two legs drop out onto little podiums at the back here, and then with that gives us around about a 5-inch raise. So that way, if we're trying to look a little bit further over the horizon, or you want to look down and through the water if you're fishing, it's perfect for us, absolutely ideal. If you have actually arrived at a nice little beach somewhere and you're about to stop for a picnic, you can unplug the 4 legs, put those into situ, so you actually have then a nice bench to sit on land quite easily, sit around a nice campfire if you've been out camping, have your lunch, and then when you're ready to go, stand yourself up, drop the legs back into the elastic keepers, insert it, and you're ready to go back sailing again.
So for more storage options and possibilities, in between each of the passenger's legs you have your 8-inch twist and stow hatch. You just open the key up, turn 180 degrees, lift it up. As standard with a new boat, you do get a gear bucket, which you can keep sandwiches, lures, whatever you're doing in there. And that also then opens up then to the rest of the hull.
So with sailing also then comes the want and the need to be able to go upwind. The mainsail works really well on all angles of sail, but to be able to get yourself to go upwind you also need a centerboard, and that is then this little piece just here. You've got a little knob on top. Again, a real nice part about this is it is a spring-loaded little knob, and all you do is just lift the knob up, pull backwards, which then drops your centerboard down. That is enough there to give you enough lateral resistance to be able to climb around about 45 degrees upwind. And then when you go downwind, if you do want to be able to slip yourself downwind and get a little bit more better downwind performance, you can then lift the knob, slide the centerboard back up. Again, because this works on a rotation system, if you forget to lift it up as you're coming back into shore, it's not going to cause any damage. It will just bring itself back up and collapse into its own recess.
So not only have you got the function of a sailboat in its trimaran format, you can also strip it back and use it as a standard tandem kayak, either with the Mirage drives or with the 2 two-piece paddles which come with it as well. When it does come around to actually dismantling the boat, it's very easy to do so. You can do it within about 3.5 minutes, and there's no need for tools such as screwdrivers or spanners. Everything just plugs and clips together. So for your first part of dismantling the boat, you just need to take the outrigger off by unhooking the double elastic on either side. That way your hull is going to completely drop off. You can then release your asymmetric support bar, give it a little twist, push the 2 buttons, so then your metalwork comes out. If you do this over all 4 points, then you're just left with the central hull.